Alright, 60-second summary for Leafeon VMAX. With Grass Knot for a Grass Energy and a Colorless, this attack does 60 damage for each energy in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost. Thanks to Galar Mine, you can essentially put your opponent to 4 energy in the retreat cost, so you're doing 240 damage, because most Pokemon these days, most VMAXs have a 2 energy retreat cost. You bump that to 4, you're doing 240, you're 2-shot in VMAXs, and you can help figure out the math from there with Quick Shooting Inteleon. That puts 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. The deck only plays 2 of the Quick Shooting Inteleon and 1 of the Shady Dealings. The Shady Dealings one just lets you get 2 trainer cards from your deck. I think that definitely needs to stay because you can find a Galar Mine and like a Switch if you need it. But I would make the case that you need 3 of the Quick Shooting Inteleon because Leafeon VMAX is not going to take that knockout for you against the VMAX. Sometimes you need to manipulate the math a little bit. I think maybe a backup attacker would be good. But the deck is your straightforward Inteleon line with a VMAX. One of the extra bonuses with Leafeon V is greening cells. So the ability here, once during your turn, you can search your deck for a grass energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. But if you use that, your turn ends. So if you go first and you have Leafeon, you have a guaranteed energy attachment. Not many decks can say that, not even Zacian V. Zacian V just hopes that they get energy off Intrepid Sword. Leafeon V guarantees it. And then you play a copy of Crobat V just to have the consistency there. Maybe you want to play an Aurora energy so you can attack with Crobat V at some point. But the deck is good. I won't say that it's amazing. Shadow Rider is still the top deck. Leafeon VMAX is not perfect, but it's still a lot of fun. Let's check out some games. Alright, so I'm pretty much the same situation as last game. I'll just put the Sobble in the front and save the Leafeon. The reason Sobble goes up front is because you don't want your opponent to know what you're playing. This looks like Zacian. Zacian, I think it has a 2 retreat cost. And it does resist grass, so that's slightly annoying. But I think I'll just hold the hand. I will not reveal Leafeon. You want to play those mind games with your opponent and say, oh, I'm just playing a Sobble deck. You have no idea what it is. It's like starting Crobat. And Evie, first subscriber ever. Thank you. You are my first subscriber. Thank you for the subscription. Unfortunately, I don't have any emotes yet. So, sorry about that, but thank you for the subscription. It means a lot. If you want any Chilling Reign codes, just let me know. You definitely deserve them. Okay, so a very interesting turn 1. I guess I just Tool Jammer the Leafeon. Quick Ball away probably the Shady Dealings Inteleon. We're never going to need that, right? Yeah, and it'll say founder, so I think you get that for being one of the first subscribers, so that's awesome. Alright, so I will attach, Zacian resists grass by 30, but I should be okay, right? As a 2 retreat cost, I can get another Leafeon down. I will not attach that other Tool Jammer because that would be a very bad idea. I will split the energy, because I'm not a greedy person. I have a great hand. It only takes 2 energy for Leafeon to attack, so I should be in a good position now. And I will try and get a emote as soon as I can, Eevee. I was thinking just something basic, like just something that says, trust me, or like, I got this, or something. Trust me, I got this. Something like that, just something really basic just to get it going, and at least it, ties into my name. And this is not a good hand. But if you have any suggestions for an emote, let me know. Otherwise, it'll probably just be something basic like trust me. Okay, so they have the Drizzile, and just Marnie is going to be such an annoying card all year long. You can play the Milotic. Alright, thanks for the feedback, Evie. I will do my best. I'll probably make it myself, so it won't be great. If it turns out horribly, then I will pay someone to make it. But I should be able to do something quick and easy. Alright, so with the hand that I have, I will Capture Energy the Leafeon, probably just get another Sobble. you know, I'm not too worried. And the front Sobble would get knocked out, but they would have to do so much to knock out 3 Sobble. And they're not even attacking this turn, so that's perfect. Alright, so there's my Crobat. I think it's worth the risk of putting the Crobat into play, even though I don't really need to. So let's do that. So I'm looking for a switch. That's it. Just looking for a switch. That is not a switch. But I mean, if I Galar Mine, I don't really want to put 2 energy in the discard, but you know, desperate times, right? And I did get a Drizzile. Oh, and I just have what I need anyway. So I think it's definitely time for an Ordinary Rod because, yeah, some bad things just happened. So I'll evolve into Leafeon VMAX, protect that guy. Ordinary Rod, do both. So Inteleon, and then my energy. So my opponent is not in a horrible position. Yeah, I don't need to save that energy for a Raihan play or anything. I'd rather just increase my chances of getting energy next turn. Grass Knot, 180. And unfortunately, I would be 10 damage short on a Zacian V, but that's where Inteleon comes in. So I should be okay. Even with the resistance, even with Zacian B and Zacian, I should be good. And yeah, it's more fun to make it by yourself, and I don't have to pay anyone, so I don't have to spend a little bit of money, but, you know, if it looks completely horrible, I will spend the money. Don't worry. Yes, I do have lots of post-rotation content lined up. I'm just going to keep going through the list of top decks. But yeah, I will definitely do the Gym Leader Challenge at some point, Eevee. I don't quite know when, but I just want to knock out some post-rotation decks, and then I'll think about the Gym Leader Challenge. It's kind of tough to choose what to pick. It would definitely be, you know, I'm leaning towards just like a lightning spread deck because the Tapu Koko with Flying Flip, that's my favorite card ever, but you can only play 1. But I mean, I think you can use DCE and Counter Energy. So if I just find some nice spread combos with that, I think I'd be okay. Okay, so what do we got here? There's not really a reason to bosses, because that would just be completely bad idea. So I just want to get a Drizzile, get an Evolution Incense, knock out the activation, hopefully get an energy. Okay, so we got the Inteleon. I just hopefully get an energy off this research. If I don't, I mean, it's not the end of the game. You know, there is a world where I don't hit into this Zacian, or sorry, where I don't quick shooting the Zacian, because they can't attack. They would probably just retreat, but I mean, they can't attack next turn with Zacian, so, you know, I think I have to be greedy and take the prizes. There's the energy, perfect. Let's see if I can get a Drizzile in the hand. So I think I'll save that Drizzile. I will hit into that Zacian, be a bit greedy. I will not use Max Leaf. And there we go. Take the knockout on the Zacian. Resistance, who cares? I have 2 bosses. I have a great hand now. And now the ball is in Volcanian's court. Yeah, the Gym Leader Challenge, it definitely opens up a lot of possibilities for creativity. You know, you look at Standard and the top decks are the top decks. There's not really anything that's going to surprise anyone. You know, I guess Suicune V is the biggest surprise to come out of Evolving Skies because no one really thought, oh, Suicune V is going to be good. But with the Gym Leader Challenge, you could have theoretically like 100 different decks that are good, and it's from all different eras. And they Marnie me out of this amazing hand. So yeah, the Gym Leader Challenge is great, but it would require a lot of brain power on my part, that is for sure. And just a victory. You know, I know they didn't get a great turn there, but I'm counting that one as a win. I'm putting that one in the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, that's the first game you saw. The other ones have not been great. I know I went 3-2 beforehand, but the losses were bad losses. The wins, my opponent didn't really play out the games. They just sort of basically what you just saw. They marnied into nothing and conceded. That one's in the video. Hopefully I get another good match because that was pretty good. It's just a quick win against Zacian. 4-2. Let's keep it going. Yeah, I would imagine pretty much every Gym Leader Challenge deck has to play Gladion and maybe Peonia. But you'd think Gladion would be a must, right? Okay, so we're facing off against another grass deck that is immune to VMAXs. So yeah, bad things are happening. So I guess at this point, I just capture energy for a Sobble. And I am going to be swinging with Leafeon V all game long as they have Zamazentas on the field. But I'm not hating this hand. That capture energy is not quite what I want to find. Okay, so what do I do in this situation? Oh, so they're just saying you ain't got it like that. Okay, so I switch into Leafeon, Drizzile for an Energy Search. Yeah, because I haven't used an Ordinary Rod. They didn't attach either, so that is pretty good. But I mean, they didn't attach. Do I want to lose my switch? Let's just go for a Leaf Blade. Hey, 130. 120, okay. So I'm just a Leaf Blade away from knocking out the Zamazenta and making my life a whole lot easier. Now I am not. Okay, so they're just gonna Zamazenta me all day long. There's a Level Ball, so I can Level Ball for Drizzile. I really don't want to lose this Capture Energy, so maybe I Drizzile for just a Quick Ball. And say I'm knocking out the Zamazenta with Ping's next turn. That Crystal Cave is super annoying. So I'll go for Leafeon. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to get another Sobble because the deck doesn't play for, you know, an Inteleon. So I think I just research, hope I get an Inteleon. I did not, but I did get a Drizzile. And I prized the Twitch shooting Inteleon, didn't I? Yep. You always, there should be a word for prizing the card you need in the matchup. Okay. I'm leaving that in the video. I don't care. You know, they're thinking, oh, I'm just going to play Zamazenta and they're going to have nothing. The problem with Zamazenta VMAX is that you can still hit it with Vs. Path to the Peak exists. Zamazenta V is not as good as you might think. It's still pretty good because I could have been in a tough position if they managed to get enough energy on it. But Zacian V is the energy accelerator. Zamazenta V, it just sort of sits there and can do 130, but it's not great. You know, it has to two-shot Vs, so I'll leave this in the video, but Zamazenta V, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you're not that great. Still have the nothing else. Okay, so it's Tapu Koko VMAX. This is interesting because they will paralyze me. So I think I have to use my Sobbles as sort of like a buffer. And that is unfortunate. So I prized a Drizzile, that's fine because they'll definitely give up some prizes. What's my deck looking like? Do I have an Ordinary Rod? I do. So my switches in this game are going to be very important. Not starting a Leafeon V is absolutely disastrous. And they play Tool Jammer, so they'll, I think it's what, every tool except Tool Jammer? Pokemon tools have no effect except for Tool Jammer, so they'll jam my everything but Tool Jammer, that's fine. So I'll Drizzile for a Quick Ball. I think I'll just get rid of my Leafeon VMAX because I only have one. Ugh. So I guess I'll just ditch the research. Put Leafeon V into play. I probably won't use Keep Calling. I'll probably use Greening Cells. And I will Marnie. Because the longer I can keep them out of their electrodes, the better. That being said, if I knock out an electrode, that does not really help me. So how do I want to play this? If I get rid of the research, I don't have a bosses, but I need the bosses. I don't really need a Sobble. So I think I ditch another research. Go get another Leafeon, attach the energy to the Leafeon. I think this is how I'm going to make it work. You know, there's no way they get everything off that Marnie, right? Because they would need bosses, Tapu Koko VMAX, and Electrode. And then they can just start going crazy. Well, they got Tapu Koko, they got Electrode, and so now they're just the bosses away from the 3-card combo off of Marnie. Without any help. Okay, there's Tool Jammer. There's Marnie. Okay, good. So they will probably use Bazap Generator. I have Level Ball if they don't go for the knock. Okay. What? Oh, it has to be on your bench. I did not know that. I thought you could just do it anywhere, but it has to be on your bench. So Tapu Koko does have a 1 retreat cost. It does not have a 2 retreat cost. Are they even going to bother taking the knockout is the question. Because if they take the knockout here, we're tied on prizes. They don't want to do that. They want me to be ahead of... Okay, so they're just going for it. Yeah, free prizes, but the whole point with Tapu Koko VMAX is that if you have more prize cards than your opponent, their active is paralyzed after max shock. So Tapu Koko wants to be behind on prizes 100% of the time, except for the end of the game. The downside is that they've just tied me on prizes. So that's not what they want to do. So I will Capture Energy, the active. May as well just thin the deck because I kind of have to at this point. Ordinary Rod, I think I'll have to burn the Ordinary Rod. Probably just put the energy back in the deck because I don't want the Sobble in the deck, or do I? I mean, I'm going to have a full bench anyway. So this is all just in the name of trying to draw what I need. I'll take it. It's not quite what I wanted, but I'll take it. You know, that's why you play the shady dealings. So we want the Galar Mine and we want the Evolution Incense. I have the Switch. Oh, I don't need the Galar Mine. I have the Switch for next turn. I definitely don't want to load my hand with another Switch just in case. I have Raihan, so I think You know, what do I think they're going to do next turn? Do I think they're going to run away? I have to assume they're going to run away. So Evolution Incense, Leafeon VMAX. Okay, so there we go. I do not want to knock out that Voltorb ever. You know, I want them to... And they just have it. So, I mean, Tapu Koko is a very interesting deck, right? And they should not be benching anybody else. They should not be benching that Voltorb. Okay, good. I was like, if they bench that Voltorb, that's bad. You know, the whole game plan with Tapu Koko VMAX is you knock out 2 Electrode of your own, you go down to 4 prizes, and then you force your opponent to go through 2 Tapu Koko VMAX while they're paralyzing you. So that's the whole point of the deck. It's very straightforward, but you do have to finagle the prizes. So like right now, they are... Well, that's kind of what I needed right now. I just need a switch now, and I will be fine. And see, I said they were going to run away, but I'm paralyzed, and that's not great. So I guess I'll just put the Tool Jammer there, the Tool Jammer there. Yeah, they got nothing going on, hopefully, in their hand. Do I get a switch? I got a switch. I got an energy. I have Galar Mine. So I think I win because they don't play anything spicy. I mean, the deck is the spiciness. You know, that's all the seasoning they need is Tapu Koko. Because we 2-shot each other. You know, nobody's taking a 1-shot here. I do have the research to get another switch if I have one in the deck. Yes, I definitely have another switch in the deck. So I'm paralyzed. Oh no, I definitely don't win. What am I thinking? I need another switch. Okay. So I win now, right? As long as I can find my final switch, I win. Or no, sorry. I'm wrong again, because they'll have to take a knockout at some point. So that is game. Because at some point they'll have to take a knockout. And then that will move the one on the bench into the active. Reset stamp does not exist. So I think that is just game. So the switch, you have to play switch in your decks these days. Paralyzing decks feast on decks that don't play switch. Okay, that's fine. You know, paralyzation is a really good effect, but there's definitely ways around it. Obviously, just play switch. That's the easiest way to get around paralyzation. I wouldn't say checkmate. I mean, if for some reason they play Crushing Hammer, but yeah, if they don't play Crushing Hammer, it's definitely checkmate. Unless they want to attack with the one in the back, but then they can't paralyze. So yeah, that's a well played. So paralyzation is great. That's why you gotta run switch. That's why you have to run switch in your deck. I think I saw the Suicune V deck that won the tournament. It played like one escape rope and that was it. So you gotta play switch. This is why Tapu Koko exists right now, is because people aren't playing switch. So if anyone ever questions you, you know, why are you playing switch in your deck? Just show them Tapu Koko VMAX or the Zekrom or something and say, I'm not an idiot, I'm playing switch because paralyzation exists. So I'm going up against Rocker Gaming Mod. I won the coin flip. You go first 100% of the time with this deck. And you start a Leafeon V 100% of the time, and it's glorious. Yeah, their boss walked in, gave them some orders. And a horrible start. Oh, geez. Okay. Well, looks like I'm going to... I mean, it's not the worst start. Oh, no. Not again. Okay, so I level ball for a Sobble. I capture energy of the Sobble. I get a Leafeon V. I greeting cells to Leafeon. And maybe... actually, maybe I should just put capture energy on the Crobat so then I can retreat it. How? How do I keep queuing up against this thing? I should really be playing just a dark deck. Doesn't matter which dark deck. Dragapult V is weak to dark. I should be playing a dark deck. I've lost so much to Dragapult today. I think all 3 of my losses, or at least 2 of them, were Dragapult because of A, the Horror Psychic Energy, and B, I can't get my stadiums when I need them. And they play Boost Shake and okay, so this isn't the tournament Dragapult. This is the spicy Dragapult that probably also plays Arctozolt. Is that the one? The Arctozolt that if you attach energy, you put 2 damage counters on. And they play Boost Shake. First time I've seen that in a deck. Search your deck for a card that evolves from one of your Pokemon, and then your turn ends. So it's instant evolution, but your turn ends. Actually, Eevee, I did copy over the Sobble IV deck list that did really well in the tournament, and it did well in the tournament because Dragapult and Shadow Rider were near the top, and it plays the Galarian Weezing. So I really like that. I like Sobble IV. Okay, so do I risk it? Do I burn the switch? I think I burn the switch. Oh, geez, do I max? Do I Grass Knot? And I don't even take the knockout with Grass Knot, which is just laughable. But I don't think I can take the 2 damage counters, can I? Because 130, 130, 280. I would have to use Max Leaf the following turn, but there's no guarantee that I get Galar Mine off the research anyway. You know, if I had a Drizzile, then I would probably just bosses the Cursula, and I don't even get it anyway. Okay, perfect. And because I started Crobat, it doesn't really matter. Because I started Crobat, it doesn't matter about overbenching Sobbles because I am pretty much just going to lose anyway. So I'll get the Sobble, I'll get a Drizzile, I will... what's my Inteleon situation looking like? So I definitely need a Quick Ball to get another Leafeon V down. Let's go for Quick Ball, get rid of... Ooh. Guess bosses, and let's get a Leafeon. So right now, I'm just hoping that they don't got it. You know, they're not playing any consistency cards. It's just relying on your supporters. They got 2 Horror Psychic Energy on this thing. They have the Evolution Incense. I mean, Eevee, you're seeing this, right? You're seeing this play out live. I'm playing the Inteleon line and not getting what I need. My opponent is playing nothing. And they're just getting everything they need. They have... You can't even search for Horror Psychic Energy and they're just getting it. Not really sure what the holdup is. Okay, Rotom Phone. That's fine. What would they be searching for? Guessing 5 damage counters are going on that Sobble. Or the Crobat. That's fine. So there's another Leafeon. I will evolve into Quick Shooting Inteleon. I got a Marnie. I have to go for the... I mean, does Max Leaf even matter at this point? So I have Drizzile. That's good. I'll go for a Galar Mine. Finally. Have Marnie for next turn. Yeah, the heart of the cards is with Dragapult all day today. So how much am I doing? I'm doing 180. So it makes 0 sense to put the energy on the active. The capture energy can go on the Sobble, sure. Just make my opponent's life easier. I think I quick shooting the active. And then Grass Knot. So they're at 260. They will knock out my Leafeon VMAX. They will put even more damage counters on my Crobat. But if I can get that other Inteleon and a Drizzile. Oh yeah, so I have the Inteleon. I think I can do this. Dragapult has been the bane of my existence all day. My opponent's deck is not drawing well, and I'm still having trouble here. But I need a great top deck. That is pretty good top deck. So I will Evolution Incense for... Yeah, I guess I didn't sequence it properly. I should have... You know, I needed an extra piece and I don't have it. I guess I'll just grab the other Evolution Incense, get my Leafeon VMAX, Tool Jammer. Oh! Okay. Prizing 2 Leafeon VMAX. Should have seen that coming. Well, you know... So, I think I just lose. Let's do that. So if I put the Crobat up front... Oh right, I have Galar Mine in play. Whoops. Wow, so I just... The misplays today are just insane. Okay, so... I'll Greeting Cells to myself. Oh man. Okay, and there's the fossil. So they are playing Arctozolt. I got the old cemetery. You know, if I keep facing these Dragapult decks with Leafeon, maybe I should just start putting an Aurora energy in the deck so I can attack with Crobat or something. Okay. I can Raihan for whatever I want. So I will, yeah, sure. Let's do that and that. Your Leafeon V, I can Raihan for literally anything. But I think it might be worth it to take the 3 prizes right off the bat just to see what they do. There's a Sobble, that will not be going down. There's a Leafeon VMAX, that's perfect. Both Leafeon VMAX off the prizes. Oh, they are putting... So I'm knocking out their Cursula as well. Interesting. So I need to Raihan for my other Inteleon because I need to... Because otherwise I would just lose the game. So I need to do this. Let's get Switch Galar Mine. Or do I go for... I think... Oh man, do I think they're going to Marnie me is the question. Because if they Marnie me, I lose the bosses. You know, I think I have to be like, I gotta outthink them here. I have to try and outthink them. Put the Galar Mine into play. Max Leaf. I have to try and outthink them. Make them think, oh, I already have the bosses in my hand. And so they will Marnie me. That is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they Marnie me. They haven't played a Marnie yet. Maybe they just don't have a Drizzile VMAX. Maybe they don't have an energy. I just need to bosses and knock out that Drizzile. You know, I played the percentages and I said they're going to Marnie me. I have another Galar Mine. I can Max Leaf again. They got Boost Shake. I think that's a win, right? Because... Okay, so I quit shooting the Dragapult. As long as I don't attach an energy. So this is a crazy win. This is the showstopper that I wanted to put in the video. Finally beating Dragapult. I misplayed hard. I'm not playing the optimal Dragapult list, but I'm still playing Dragapult. I'm still going to count this as a win if I end up winning. Thank you. I've had the worst luck against Dragapult all day long. Finally I beat it. I still haven't beaten the optimal list, but this one plays the Drizzile, so it's more of a whenever your opponent attaches an energy from their hand to one of their Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. And I did not realize that Drizzile had like a shark fin on its tail. That's interesting. But yeah, Biting Whirlpool, you attach energy, puts damage counters. Dragapult puts damage counters. Cursula puts damage counters. Old Cemetery puts damage counters. Horror Psychic Energy puts damage counters. So it's a really fun idea for a deck. But I finally took that showstopper win, even though I misplayed. You know, check your prizes, check your deck, see what's prized. Leafeon VMAX 7-3. There's some games I didn't include, but it went 7-3 in 10 quote-unquote official games. It's not as good as I thought. You know, it shouldn't have been the second deck that I featured, but Leafeon VMAX is still really good. Galar Mine is still really annoying. I think the list could use some more optimization, but I will include the list when I put this on YouTube. You know, I'm happy with it, but it's not as good as I thought it was going to be.